catch it cause I'm so soon. I can't make no mistakes, cause there is just no room. Guess I was made like crutches, strong enough to hold you, strong enough to carry, but I can't think for you. I can give no input, only what I put in. Tired when I can't be, tired of my footing, but I care for you. I want better for you, I can only hope that you want better also, cause we in a cycle.
Hello, good evening. How are you doing today? My name is In My Opinion. I just want to let y'all know thank you for coming into the room. Good Friday to everyone. Okay. This case has been one of those cases I have been following. Hi, Naughty Love. Thank you for coming. How are you? Listen, this case has been a case I have been following because I watched it on Netflix, okay? And I got embroiled in it. And so, yes, I've been following this case for about 6 weeks. Thank God this trial is over because this has been driving me insane. I literally cried after watching the documentary. I tried to watch it with y'all over here, but YouTube was like, no, not gonna happen. Again, let me recap y'all on what this case is. So this case was about a little girl who went to the hospital. She suffered with CRPS, and the hospital decided that, hey, the treatments that she was getting, they felt like it was medical abuse, and so they had taken this little girl from her parents, drove the mama to the point where she ended up unaliving herself. um, and from what I've been reading in the documentary and everything, this has happened a lot in Florida at the same hospital, and because the child protective services down there is money based, it's private. These people could come in, take your kids, and not be held responsible. But only God, okay? God came in and saw fit for this family, even though they had to go through what they had to go through. God made them victorious in this case, okay? Okay, so it was 7 counts, okay? And I'm going to let y'all see the verdict because it was amazing. It was so emotional. These kids, man, to lose, I can't imagine if I had lost my mama at the age of 10. I don't know what I would have done if I hadn't had my mama through my teen years, because that's when a little girl needs her mom. You know what I'm saying? You go through the changes of life, you need your mama. When you had your first heartbreak, you need your mama. When you go through all these issues, you need your mom. And for this little girl, she had to go through life without her mom. Now, I did pull up some things that I wanted to show. So at this point, I'm going to try, because I have not been really successful with this, trying to get the screen sharing going. But I'm going to try my best so we can see the verdict in this case. Let me tell you, this case has embroiled me because of the simple fact that we've not been able to get any justice. And I wanted this this little girl to get the justice. It already took her a long time to get here. Okay, so let's look at this one first. If I can get it to play.
Very well, Your Honor. May please report our next witness is Dr. Sally Smith.
Okay, there's something wrong with this one. Let's see. Oh no, this is not what I wanted to go through all this. Hold on. I thought I had it at the part I wanted it at. Hold on, y'all. Bear with me. Bear with me here. Let's see. And stop that one. Okay. Bear with me. Okay. I'm gonna try the other one because this one is not acting right. Hold on 1 second. Let's see if I can get this other one pulled up. Y'all are not gonna believe the amount of money that this hospital, and now these hospitals are now they're gonna fight this. They say they're gonna appeal it, and from what I was told, they may have a strong case for fighting this because of the simple fact it's in Florida, and they have a lot of judges that don't want to see medical practices be held responsible for stuff that happen in hospitals and stuff.
In the 12th Judicial Circuit in and for Sarasota County, Florida, case number 2018 CBA 005321 Jack Kowalski, individually, Jack Kowalski, ex-parent and ex-friend of MK, minor, and Jack Kowalski, ex-personal representative of the estate of the other Kowalski plaintiffs versus Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital Incorporated defendant. Verdict form. We, the jury, return the following verdict. Claim 1, false imprisonment, October 7th through October 13th, 2016, Maya Kowalski. 1. Did Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital falsely imprison Maya Kowalski without legal authority under circumstances that were unreasonable and unwarranted between October 7th and October 13th, 2016? Yes. 2. What is the total amount of Maya Kowalski damages for medical and psychological expenses to be incurred in the future after changes the age of 18 based on false imprisonment occurring between October 7th and October 13th, 2016? $2,496,000. 3. What is the total amount of Maya Kowalski's damages for pain and suffering, mental anguish, inconvenience, and loss of capacity for the enjoyment of life sustained in the past and to be sustained in the future based on the false imprisonment occurring between October 7th and October 13th, 2016? $3 million. 4. What is the regional value or expense of hospitalization and medical, psychological, and nursing care and treatment necessarily or reasonably obtained by Jack Kowalski for his child, Maya Kowalski, in the past, or to be so obtained in the future until Maya Kowalski reaches the age of 18, based on the false imprisonment occurring between October 7th and October 13th, 2016? $67,200. 5. Under the circumstances of this case, state whether you find by clear and convincing evidence that punitive damages are warranted for the false imprisonment occurring between October 7th and October 13th, 2016. Yes. Claim on false imprisonment, October 18th through October 20th, 2016, Maya Kowalski. 6. Did Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital falsely imprison Maya Kowalski without legal authority under circumstances that were unreasonable and unwarranted between October 18th and October 20th, 2016? Yes. 7. What was the total amount of Maya Kowalski's damages for medical and psychological expenses to be incurred in the future after she reaches the age of 18, based on a false imprisonment occurring between October 18th and October 20th, 2016? $1,400,000. 8. What is the total amount of Maya Kowalski's damages for pain and suffering, mental anguish, inconvenience, and loss of capacity for the enjoyment of life sustained in the past and to be sustained in the future based on the false imprisonment occurring between October 18th and October 20th, 2016? $3 million. 9. What is the reasonable value or expense of hospitalization and medical, psychological, and nursing care and treatment necessarily or reasonably obtained by Jack Kowalski for his child, Maya Kowalski,
in the past or to be so obtained in the future until Maya Kowalski reaches the age of 18, based on the false imprisonment occurring between October 18th and October 20th, 2016. $561,298. 10. Under the circumstances of this case, state whether you find by clear and convincing evidence that punitive damages are warranted for the false imprisonment occurring between October 18th and October 20th, 2016. Yes. Claim 1, false imprisonment, January 6th, 2017, Maya Kowalski. 11. Did Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital falsely imprison Maya Kowalski without legal authority under circumstances that were unreasonable and unwarranted on January 6, 2017? Yes. 12. What is the total amount of Maya Kowalski's damages for medical and psychological expenses to be incurred in the future after she reaches the age of 18, based on the false imprisonment occurring on January 6, 2017? $188,000. 13. What is the total amount of Maya Kowalski's damages for pain and suffering, mental anguish, inconvenience, and loss of capacity for the enjoyment of life sustained in the past and to be sustained in the future, based on the false imprisonment occurring on January 6, 2017? $15 million. 14. What is the reasonable value or expense of hospitalization and medical, psychological, and nursing care and treatment necessarily or reasonably obtained by Jack Kowalski for his child, Maya Kowalski, in the past or to be so obtained in the future until Maya Kowalski reaches the age of 18, based on the false imprisonment occurring on January 6, 2017? $325,000. 15. Under the circumstances of this case, state whether you find by clear and convincing evidence that punitive damages are warranted for the false imprisonment occurring on January 6, 2017. Yes. Claim 2, battery, January 6, 2017, Maya Kowalski. 16. Did Catherine Beatty and any bedside nurse commit a battery on Maya Kowalski on January 6, 2017? Yes. 17. What is the total amount of Maya Kowalski's damages for psychological treatment incurred in the future after she reaches the age of 18, based on a battery occurring on January 6, 2017? $4 million. 18. What is the total amount of Maya Kowalski's damages for pain and suffering, disability, physical impairment, mental anguish, inconvenience, and loss of capacity for the enjoyment of life sustained in the past and to be sustained in the future, based on the battery occurring on January 6, 2017? $8 million. 19. What is the reasonable value or expense of hospitalization and medical, psychological, and nursing care and treatment necessarily or reasonably obtained by Jack Kowalski for his child, Maya Kowalski, in the past or to be so obtained in the future until Maya Kowalski reaches the age of 18, based on the battery occurring on January 6, 2017? $559,000. 20. Under the circumstances of this case, state whether you find by clear and convincing evidence that punitive damages are warranted for the battery occurring on January 6, 2017. Yes. Claim 2, battery, hugs, pats, kisses, and placing on lap, Maya Kowalski. 21. Did Catherine Beatty commit one or more batteries on Maya Kowalski through hugging, patting, kissing, and placing Maya Kowalski on her lap? Yes. 22. What is the total amount of Maya Kowalski's damages for psychological treatment incurred in the future after she reaches the age of 18, based on Catherine Beatty's hugging, patting, kissing, and placing Maya Kowalski on her lap? $8 million. 23. What is the total amount of Maya Kowalski's damages for pain and suffering, disability, physical impairment, mental anguish, inconvenience, and loss of capacity for the enjoyment of life sustained in the past and to be sustained in the future, based on Catherine Beatty's hugging, patting, kissing, and placing Maya Kowalski on her lap. $11 million. 24. What is the reasonable value or expense of hospitalization and medical, psychological, and nursing care and treatment necessarily or reasonably obtained by Jack Kowalski for his child, Maya Kowalski, in the past, or to be so obtained in the future until Maya Kowalski reaches the age of 18, based on Catherine Beatty's hugging, patting, kissing, and placing Maya Kowalski on her lap? $1,000. Claim 3, medical negligence, Maya Kowalski. 25. Was Dr. Sally Smith an apparent agent of Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital at the time and place of any treatment she provided to Maya Kowalski? Yes. 26. Was Dr. Sally Smith negligent in the medical care of Maya Kowalski? And was that negligence a legal cause of loss, injury, or damage to Maya Kowalski? Yes. 27. Excluding and not considering the conduct of Dr. Sally Smith, were one or more healthcare providers negligent in the medical care of Maya Kowalski at Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital? And was their negligence a legal cause of loss, injury, or damage to Maya Kowalski? Yes. 28. What is the total amount of Maya Kowalski's damages for lost earnings in the past, loss of earning capacity in the future, medical, psychological, and nursing care and treatment expenses to be incurred in the future? $4,700,000. 29. What is the total amount of Maya Kowalski's damages for pain and suffering, disability or physical impairment, mental anguish, inconvenience, aggravation of a disease or physical defect, and loss of capacity for the enjoyment of life sustained in the past and to be sustained in the future? $22 million. Claim 4, fraudulent billing for Mr. Kowalski. 30. Did All Children's Hospital fraudulently misrepresent a material matter in its invoices to Jack Kowalski or his insurers? Yes. 31. Did Jack Kowalski or his insurance company rely to their detriment on the fraudulent misrepresentation you found in answer to question 30? Yes. 32. What is the total amount of Jack Kowalski's damages for any deductibles or co-pays incurred as a result of Maya Kowalski's sheltering at Johns Hopkins, or increases in the cost of insurance coverage in the past or in the future, including increased premiums, co-pays, and higher deductibles? $3 million. 33. What is the total amount of Jack Kowalski's damages for the difficulty of finding insurance in the future? $2 million. Claim 5. Survivor claim for the intentional infliction of emotional distress in the estate of Beata Kowalski. 34. Did Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital, through the acts of its employees, engage in extreme and outrageous conduct, intending that conduct to cause or with reckless disregard of the high probability of causing severe emotional distress to Beata Kowalski prior to her death? Yes. 35. What is the total amount of Beata Kowalski's damages for pain and suffering or mental anguish caused by the extreme emotional distress prior to her death on January 7, 2017? $3 million. Claim 6. Wrongful death claim for intentional infliction of emotional distress causing death in the estate of Beata Kowalski. 36. Did Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital, through the acts of its employees, engage in extreme and outrageous conduct, intending that conduct to cause or with reckless disregard of the high probability of causing severe emotional distress to Beata Kowalski that was sufficient to be a legal cause of Beata Kowalski's death by suicide? Yes. 37, did the conduct that you found in question 36 create in Beata Kowalski an uncontrollable impulse to die by suicide? Yes. 38, was the conduct that you found in question 36 a substantial factor in Beata Kowalski's death by suicide? Yes. Question 39 addresses damages to the estate. What is the total amount of any damages sustained by the estate for loss of net accumulations? $653,676. Question 40 and 41 address damages of surviving spouse Jack Kowalski. 40, what is the amount of any damages sustained by Jack Kowalski for the loss of Beata Kowalski's support and services and funeral expenses resulting from Beata Kowalski's death paid by Jack Kowalski? $18 million. 41, what is the total amount of damages sustained by Jack Kowalski for the loss of his wife's companionship and protection and for his pain and suffering as a result of Beata Kowalski's death? $50 million. Number 42, what is the total amount of damages sustained by Maya Kowalski for the loss of Beata Kowalski's support and services? $2 million. 43, what is the total amount of damages sustained by Maya Kowalski for the loss of parental companionship, instruction and guidance, and Maya Kowalski's pain and suffering as a result of Beata Kowalski's injury and death? $18 million. Question 44 and 45 address the survivor damages of Kyle Kowalski. 44, what is the total amount of damages sustained by Kyle Kowalski for the loss of Beata Kowalski's support and services? $2 million. 45, what is the total amount of damages sustained by Kyle Kowalski for the loss of parental companionship, instruction, and guidance, and Kyle Kowalski's pain and suffering as a result of Beata Kowalski's injury and death? $18 million. Claim 7, intentional infliction of emotional distress, Maya Kowalski. 46, did Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital, through the acts of its employees, engage in extreme and outrageous conduct, intending that conduct to cause or with reckless disregard of the high probability of causing severe emotional distress to Maya Kowalski? Yes. 47, what is the total amount of Maya Kowalski's damages for lost earnings in the past, loss of earning capacity in the future, medical expenses incurred in the past, and medical expenses to be incurred in the future? $3 million. 48, what is the total amount of Maya Kowalski's damages for pain and suffering, disability or physical impairment, mental anguish, inconvenience, aggravation of a disease or physical defect, and loss of capacity for the enjoyment of life sustained in the past and to be sustained in the future? $7,500,000. So say we all, this 9th day of November 2023, for a person.
That's the award. She was awarded $261 million from Johns Hopkins. After this, they said the jurors was in tears and everything. They said it was really, really a hard trial for them. The attorneys for Johns Hopkins really shocked me because when they left and they did their exit interviews, they talked about how they thought they had enough evidence that they wasn't going to have to pay out this money, and that had they known that it was going to go this way, they would have settled, because she settled with Dr. Sally Smith, the lady who has her own service down there that usually come into this hospital, pretends to be a doctor, and takes these kids away from their parents. And she settled for $2.5 million. Her and a company called Suncoast. So this is not the first time that this hospital and Sally Smith and the social worker Catherine Beatty have came in and wreaked havoc in kids' life. And I feel like kids are to be loved and protected at all costs. Our children are our future. I do know that there are people out there who don't protect and love their kids, who don't do everything they can for these kids. But when you see a family where they was telling the dad to divorce his wife to get his kid back, where they was clearly trying to shun the mama out of this little girl's life. And she kept calling, trying to check to make sure her daughter was okay. And they was telling her she had no right to know if her daughter was okay. All the while, this social worker was sitting there telling her that her mom was in a mental institute, that she was going to be her new mommy. She was putting her on her lap, kissing her. The dresses that they was giving her for Christmas, they took it and hid it in her closet. And no repercussions, okay? They called her ketamine girl. They talked about this family in text messages. It was disgusting to know that it was a hospital with grown people that were sitting around here intentionally trying to hurt this family, trying to break them apart, trying to destroy a family. Like, what kind of world are we living in when we just set out to destroy a family? This lady, the day before she took her life, she went into court, and all she asked that judge was to hug her daughter. I hadn't hugged my daughter in 3 months. Can I please put my arm around her and just hug her? The judge said no. She went home that day, wrote letters out to the judge and to her kids, and she went in the garage and hung herself. As a mom of 6, I can't imagine not being able to touch my babies, not being able to put my arms around my babies, not being able to make sure they're okay. You know, I can't imagine it. And I really wouldn't imagine that I take my baby to a hospital to get treatment and they take them away from me. I can't imagine what this mama went through. I really can't. But this story touched me so much, I was going to follow it through the end because I was like, I felt for that mama. I did. I felt for that mama in that moment because I put myself in that place. What would have happened if they had took my babies? I think that hospital really should do an overhaul of the staff that they hired there. Because if this is what you're doing to families and children, it's not a hospital I would want to visit. And for you to have the John Hopkins name on you, which is a big name, I don't think this is the good look that they think it's going to be for that hospital. This is a sad story. I know. And I try not to do the sad stories. I try to keep it as, trying to uplift you, trying to keep you motivated, trying to keep you healthy. I used to do those kind of things. But this story, I'm telling you, it touched me. I needed you to know that there is a hospital out there that is doing this, that's taking babies from families, that is intentionally trying to break families apart, that is intentionally trying. It's sad. It really is. Like I said, I never would have thought this would have happened. I didn't. I've been to a lot of hospitals, and I've never seen this happen before. I've heard of hospitals that suck, and I've heard of hospitals that do things, not take care of their patients and stuff like this. But I've never heard of it at this level, this bad. Her son, he was 8 years old when his mom took his life. She was 10. I think she had just turned 11. This little girl went to the hospital in October, and they kept her till her mama died on unalived herself on January the 8th. She didn't come back home to January the 12th. So a few days after her mom, unalived herself, they did let her go back home to her father and her brother. And this little girl, she still deals with CRPS. It was a few days that she couldn't come to the trial because she had a flare up. And she said she's scared. She's scared of hospitals. She's not taking any medication now for it. She's suffering through the pain because she's scared that if she ever goes to another hospital, that they may take her again. And then this time it could be her father. She blames herself for her mom not being here anymore because she said, if I hadn't got sick, my mom will still be here. And that breaks my heart that she's putting that weight on her because it wasn't her fault. It really wasn't. You can't control when you're sick. You can't control when that pain is too hard to bear. I really don't understand this. Lord, I don't understand it. We got to do better. And we got to be out here and we got to look out for each other. And at the most, when we see an injustice, we have to talk about it. And we have to make it known that we're not going to stand for this no more. We got to love and protect our children, whether they're ours or somebody else's. Ms. Wilson said, in my opinion, speaking of John Hopkins, did you know that Henrietta Lack's story and how John Hopkins practically stole her cells and have been using them for medical research for years? No, I did not know about that. That is sad, but it doesn't surprise me. I'm going to tell you something. Listening to this trial, seeing these lawyers that got up here on this thing, they got people to come in from this hospital, and you could tell they were literally lying because they were playing their depositions and they were saying how they didn't say the same thing in their depositions. It had been like they had been coached. And I'm telling you, Maya had some really good attorneys because they was catching it on every turn. And this judge was amazing because he let the jurors ask questions. He made them let them be involved. And for that, I'm so thankful for this judge. I am so thankful that this time our justice system worked because we know our justice system is not always just. It's not always fair. But this time I feel like justice was served. Now, a lot of people are saying they were surprised that the award wasn't bigger than this. I think she would have gave all that money back to have her mom. I really do. I think money is good, but money can't replace your mama. Okay? Here at my big grown age, okay? At my big grown age, I'd rather have my mama here. Okay? You could offer me $5 million, $500 million on my mama back for a week, and I would still pick my mama for a week. Nothing replaces your mom, especially when you have a good one. Now, I know some people don't have the best moms, but I just, this is one of them stories that touched my heart and I had to do it. I'm sorry if I brought all y'all mood down with this because I know this has been a hard story for me to follow. I've broke down so many times crying over this story. This thing caused me reckless nights of sleep, and my husband had to tell me I can't take everything in. And, of course I meditate and everything, try to clear some of this stuff out of my mind when it comes across me. But this story stuck to me because just hearing how all this happened, hearing the pain that this baby was in, hearing that they was letting her, boo-boo and pee-pee on herself, and they was up there talking about something. They thought she was going to get up and use the bathroom. You know what I'm saying? Hearing them saying her mama had Munchausen by proxy and she had fasciitis disorder, and she was only saying this because she wanted to please her mama. Like, there's things that we can do in this world. I just don't think nobody's going to fake to this level for that long. and say, oh yeah. And if you felt like it was, they kept saying that the ketamine doses was so strong. She didn't prescribe the ketamine to her daughter. There was a doctor that prescribed that to her daughter. If you felt like this was wrong, then why didn't you go up to the channels and say, hey, this doctor is prescribing something that's way too strong for this little girl? Like, it's not only the mother. We take our children to doctors for them to prescribe medication, for them to look out for our kids. If you see something, that doesn't necessarily mean that the mama's doing something wrong. Why are you not holding these medical professionals accountable? If it was something wrong with the dosage that she was getting, it was a doctor who wrote that script. The mother cannot go write a script for her daughter. She was not a doctor. She was an infusion nurse. She happened to know what she was talking about because she was an infusion nurse. She's not a doctor. She didn't write these scripts. You know, she wasn't prescribing this to her daughter. She wasn't even doing the treatments for her daughter. They were paying out millions because it wasn't even covered on the insurance. They was having to take their daughter to Mexico because the treatments was cheaper in Mexico than it was in the States. Like, if you felt like it was something wrong, there were other people that were at fault before you got to the parents. All they was trying to do was make sure their daughter was okay. I'm just going to pray that this hospital gets a revamp, that they, figure out something here, because they said they deal with a lot of Medicaid patients and stuff like that. And if they're doing this to these people who were not rich, but they was better off, they had nice insurance and everything else. But if they can do it to them, it can happen to any of us. I would hate to see what kind of service we would get there. I was looking at their reviews, and the reviews wasn't very well. And this ain't the first time they've done it. It's just the first time that a parent hasn't signed off and not held them accountable. They wanted them to sign off, and Beata just said, no, I'm not going to do that because I haven't done anything wrong. I'm not signing that paper admitting fault just to get my daughter back because I didn't do anything wrong. And I'm so glad that she didn't sign that paper, because this is the reason why they were able to sue this hospital. That's the reason why, because she didn't sign that paper admitting fault. They've done this so many times. I think the youngest child that they've taken and was wrong about was a 9-month-old. Couldn't take her mother's milk, and they thought she was, somehow killing her baby. So sad. Anyway, that baby, they took the baby, and the baby ended up, being unalive because it had a discrepancy or deficiency where the breast milk was turning into arsenic, and it was literally killing, the baby. Y'all, this has been one of them stories. I don't, want to keep dwelling on it. This will be the last time I talk about this, but I appreciate everybody for coming in, for joining me, for joining me on this circle. We're going to get back to getting everybody healthy, wealthy, and doing well over here on this channel again. I'm planning on doing a video on accountability. I do that tomorrow, okay? And then we're going to move into some meditation videos so we can get our mind, bodies, and souls right, okay? If there's anything that y'all need help on, if there's anything, services, if there's a video that you really want to put out there, if there's something that you're looking for, okay? And I'm telling you this personally from me. I love to help people out, whether it's helping you find some place to, get your power bills paid, your gas bill, your water bill, whatever that need is. Please don't hesitate to put it in the chat. You can email me, whatever it is. I promise you, I'm going to find that information for you. If I cannot find it, I will help you personally myself. But I'm going to do a video on it and, give you all the information. Your information will always be confidential with me. If you come to me in confidence, I promise you your information will always stay confident. You don't have to leave your real name. I'm not asking you for phone numbers. I'm not asking you for none of your personal information. I just want to make sure everybody is doing okay and that we can uplift each other and be a blessing to somebody's life. I'm praying blessings upon everybody in the chat, everybody that hears this video. I hope that you leave here with the Spirit of God on you, that you know that no weapon formed against you shall prosper, and that you live a life and live it more abundantly. That's all I have for today. I'm going to have to go back and detox and release all this that I had to put into me again. I pray that y'all have a wonderful Friday. Happy Veterans Day to all the soldiers out there that have served. I have a big military family. Y'all have a wonderful weekend. I will see y'all tomorrow for accountability and meditation video. And until next time, y'all stay blessed, stay safe, stay healthy, and live life, but live it more abundantly. Bye.